Week 15.
15!
1 week before the fantasy championships.
Woo!
And there are a lot of hard decisions this week with all the crazy matchups, and there's going to be some weather games. Rankings were tough this week.
So, and here's the thing, just going forward, you're in the playoffs, congratulations. If you have dead weight on your bench, go ahead, look for defenses for next week. For kickers, if they're playing in a dome, that's way better than outside in the elements. So just kind of take a note of those things, fine tune every little detail, you're in the playoffs.
This is when everyone starts to overthink things. And I do want to talk about quarterbacks really quick. A lot of the top tier quarterbacks have really tough matchups this week. And we've been talking about a little bit before the show, kind of like about blackjack and just what the book says. And the book says stick with the stud. But I cannot remember a time where our #1 quarterback is so close to like our number 14 quarterback in terms of my excitement level for starting them this week. So I'm not really going to talk about anyone in particular. I'm just going to talk about kind of the first handful of studs here. But Rodgers at Chicago, not a bad matchup, but it's going to be bitter cold. He has a hurt right leg and a hurt left leg. And then you got Brady at Denver. You got Breeze at Arizona.
That's a little scary.
You got Matt Ryan against San Francisco. They're probably going to get up 21 points.
But then are they going to run the whole time?
And then they might run the whole time. Andrew Luck's at Minnesota. I mean, it's scary this week. The book says stick with them. But I don't always go by the book.
And what we have them ranked is so, right? We're more, the rankings are more by the book, but just to make it even more confusing, Dustin and I are talking, he wants to start Tyrod Taylor over Aaron Rodgers in one of his leagues.
I'm just thinking about it.
You want to. I can tell you want me to say yes.
No, I know you would never say yes. But I'm just telling you.
I'm way more by the book than you.
I'm just telling you that I'm thinking about it.
I think you want to. And then you're going to be annoyed when on your bench. So but we have ranked him accordingly. It's going to be a tough week. Take a look at it. Dustin, I'm not even going to talk about a quarterback because that segment ran as long as it should. Go ahead and jump right into running backs, young man.
Let's talk about running backs. Thomas Rawls, Seattle. It's hard to tell what team we're going to get you from week to week with Seattle. Rawls, looked like a monster a couple weeks ago. Not that great last week. But against the Rams, you got to think they're playing with a lead. You got to think Rawls is going to get a ton of touches. We got him ranked at number 6. We think he has a big week.
Number 16, Tevin Coleman. And I know what you're thinking. A lot of you had him on your team, he was doing great, then he got hurt, you kept him on there, haven't really played him, and then last week, he might have been on your bench getting those 2 touchdowns, or you're like me, I flopped him, I switched him in for Julio. That's another thing, if you have guys that are kind of questionable, make sure they're in your flex spot for the 4 o'clock game. So, you always line them accordingly. Does that make sense? Am I saying that correctly? Okay.
Depending on when the game starts, always have the later games with the flex because you never know
what could happen. Exactly. So, the thing I like about Coleman though this week at 16, I think they're going to run quite a bit on San Francisco as everyone does. Him and Freeman could have a good game, and Coleman has looked, in my opinion, a little bit better than Freeman.
He's looked good. Let's move to the second 20. Todd Gurley at 21, just outside our top 20. He found the end zone last week. He's had some decent moments, but they're at Seattle. You got to think they're going to struggle there, but we still got him at 21 because of the volume. If you own him and you have a flex spot in your league, he's more than likely finding your lineup because he's going to get 15-plus touches, but you're not that excited about it.
No. All right, I got my pickup brigade.
There you go.
There we go. 24, 25, 26, Bilal Powell, Dixon, TJ Yeldon. These guys are available in a lot of leagues. I grabbed a couple of them in some of my shallower leagues. Powell I got off the waiver. I think if Forte's out, he's a great pickup and play. Dixon shouldn't be on any waivers because he's got all those targets next week. And Yeldon with Ivory out has some intrigue. So none of them are obviously a top 20 play because we don't have them ranked as such, but they're all flex considerations, I believe. So if you got some issues and they're on your wire, hey, you might want to grab them.
And the receiver position doesn't really get much easier because you have a lot of guys that are their stocks going up and a lot of guys or their stocks going down. It's hard to figure out. And there's a lot of high upside gamble guys.
There is. But they can only catch the ball once.
And one
killing yourself
is Tyreek Hill. This guy's electric. He is very fun to watch. Special talent, but Macklin's back. So how excited do you get? We're still pretty excited. Tennessee's the worst defense against receivers. They just got lit up by Simeon. Sanders and Thomas went nuts against them last week. And with Hill, he could do it on punt return. He could do it on a catch. Like, he's gonna touch the ball. We still got him at 12. We're still excited. We know he's a little bit boomer bust, but we're excited.
It's a big upside. Floor's a little scary, big upside. Number 20, talking about Inman for the San Diego Chargers. We have him, he's the highest ranked Charger receiver at this point. Williams is a little bit banged up and, you know, teams have rolled coverage to him. Inman's been very solid under the radar. This is another guy that if he's on waiver wires, you really might want to consider grabbing him and starting over. A guy like even Hopkins, which I know is crazy, but Hopkins has been garbage. Moving on, Dustin, that's all I'm gonna say. Hopkins being garbage.
At number 30, Ty Montgomery. We rank on Fantasy Pros, they have him at a receiver, or else we would put him at running back. But Ty Montgomery, Starks, there's a chance he doesn't play. You know, he hasn't really been getting a ton of carries as of late anyway, but if he's out of the way, Montgomery could get a few more. And I've been saying it for a few weeks now, I think Montgomery is their best running back. I don't understand why they're not giving him more touches, but Michael had some mental mistakes, you know, week 14, so there's a chance Montgomery, they can lean on him a little bit more in this potentially freezing.
That's why Michael has switched teams. I hate to say it. Sorry, Mama Michael. I think he's an idiot.
I don't think he can't pick up those blocks.
I think he's an idiot. I think he's dumb. I hate to say it. He could kill me with an inch of my life in a heartbeat. But anyway, moving on because I don't want to die. Number 38, we got Robbie Anderson for the New York Jets. Ooh. Oh, you mean the guy that's got 23 targets the last 2 weeks? Well, Dustin and I were talking. Typically, whenever backups come in, it's the guy practice squad or secondary guys that come in with him to get all the targets. So he's gotten so many targets last week, you have to respect that. And you'll notice not on our list is Brandon Marshall. So not in our top 40, but Mr. Anderson is. With that said, I have the same option in one of my leagues. I think I'm going to go Marshall over him because I play more by the book. So keep that in mind. It's okay if that's what you personally want to do.
Sometimes I don't feel like hitting on 16. Let's take a look at
guys
those.
hate you at the blackjack table. And you never hit, like, if the dealer's showing 16. Sometimes I don't feel like hitting on 16.
If they're showing a 10 and I got a 16, I don't always hit.
What?
The book says you should.
Oh, if the dealer's showing a face card like? Yeah, I got you on that. Yeah. That's just a weird one to go with.
Yeah. It's the hardest one to hit on. Tight ends, Tyler Eifert. The guy's back. I mean, he has looked amazing. We got him at number 2. Pittsburgh, divisional game, you know, don't necessarily love the matchup, but just the touchdown potential. I mean, the guy's a beast in the red zone, and he just looks 100% healthy. We are trusting Tyler Eifert.
Number 6 got Jordan Reed, and we love Jordan Reed. And I'm sorry if you owned him last week, and if you're still watching this because you're still in it, congratulations, because your other guys did good. Jordan Reed still's got issues. Something was wrong. They didn't target him as much. He wasn't used as much. I think that shoulder issue is still an issue. True, he's got a Monday night game, so he's got a little more time for rest. But if you got a guy like Eifert, it's more of a sure thing. Reed's, while he's a tight end 1, it's obviously scary after last week. Obviously.
This is a little scary. Let a lot of owners down. Let's talk about those defenses.
I'm so scared.
He's got a tough decision to make. Well, he's already kind of made part of it. But Seattle, we got at number 1. They got a great matchup. But number 2, KC. I know, if you have them, you're happy that you have them, but you're looking at that Tennessee matchup and like, their offenses look pretty good.
Murray can run, Mariota.
And Derek Johnson got hurt last week. They might be able to just run and run and run. They might be able to, but with what they can do on special teams and just how many big plays they've created, I know it's a little scary, but I just don't see a situation where you're benching them unless you have Seattle. I mean, I think they still have the highest upside.
And they're at home. They're always so good at home.
Yeah, I think you're starting.
All right, talking about my Vikings at number 4. And I'm talking about the Bills at 3. I think they're both interesting. Bills I like at 3 because Cleveland yields the most points to defenses in terms of fantasy. I like Minnesota because you can obviously get to Luck, but Luck is still Andrew Luck, not RG3. RG3 is garbage. Luck is still pretty good. So, but either way, these are top.
He picked up the Bills.
I did over my Vikings.
He picked up the Bills, and he's starting them over Minnesota.
I'm doing it as the biggest Vikings defensive guy ever. I'm doing it.
See, I think that's less against the book. The Bills have been bad.
Maybe that's less against the book. Well, it's the book because it's playing the worst team against it, and RG3 is so bad.
Good luck this week. 1 week to the championships.
Here's the thing, book or no book, go with your gut. You got here for a reason. Check out our rankings. If guys are ranked near each other and you like one a little bit more, that's fine. Go with that. It's nothing set in stone, but If there's a big discrepancy, I'd really consider it.
Boom! Good luck!
That's a good toss for all of us.
What?